My name is Ashya Smith Randolph. I'm 30 years old. I'm married to Smith Randolph. I am currently studying for my bachelor's degree in criminal justice at the University of Maryland, and I work at Wells Fargo Home Mortgage. My walk with God is the most important thing to me. Without God, I don't know where I would be. I grew up with family that, there was a lot of trust issues, there was a lot of alcohol and drugs and addiction. So I feel as though if it wasn't for God leading and guiding me, I would probably be addicted right now, or alcoholic, or, manipulating someone in some way. So I thank God for what He has done in and through me. I thank Him for continually guiding me. I thank Him for the fact that He has given me a voice and that He has shown me my value. It's very important to know who you are, whether or not you're in ministry or not. As long as you trust God, that's all that matters. A time in my life when I knew, not thought, but knew that God, without God, I wouldn't have made it. Is when I was actually 15 years old. At the time, I lived with my grandmother. I ended up meeting a girl, and she became my best friend, or I thought she was my best friend. And in that moment, I trusted her with my life. I couldn't trust my mom. I couldn't trust, anyone around me. The relationships were all bad, and I just needed somebody. So I was like, okay, this person is showing her true self to me. She's allowing me to go to her house. I'm eating dinner with her family. She was a little older than me, so I was like, okay, she's like big sister. Well, one day I had ended up messing up my ankle, and so I was at her house. My grandmother actually went to some type of ministry like conference in PA, and so I ended up going to this girl's house. I ended up eating dinner with her family. They had a spare bedroom. I ended up going to sleep in her spare bedroom, and I actually woke up and she was doing some very not okay things to me. Let's just say that she molested me, and I had to fight her. I had to fight to get out of her room, and I trusted her. I trusted her like with everything. To me, it was a time where I just didn't know, who to trust or who to love or what have you. And she showed me a thing, but I can say that, that really did hurt. First of all, I was on crutches, but I had to fight her to get out of her room. And she tormented me for years after that. And I was so afraid to tell. I was so afraid to say anything. And this is the first time that this is being said out loud. Besides my best friend, you guys are the only one who are going to see this or know. But it took me 15 years to say it out loud. Into this past year, like God has been working with me about being vocal and saying when something's not okay. And that wasn't okay. And I held that for 15 years. I held it inside of me for 15 years. And I know that there's somebody out here who's gonna need to hear this, who's gonna need to hear that it's okay to open your mouth and say that you're not okay. It's okay to open your mouth and say, this person did this to me, so that they don't do it to someone else. But for 15 years, I don't know if she's done it to someone else or not. But it was a play. It was something that the enemy did, because God showed me who I was. He was showing me purpose, and I was going to church with my grandmother, and I was doing all these things ministry-wise as a kid, and He tried to stop it. He tried to keep my mouth shut. But today I can stand strong and say, God showed me the value of who I am, and I thank Him for that. I thank Him for continuously just pushing me and saying, no, open your mouth and say what happened. Even if you tell one person, at least you don't gotta walk around and hold it on your shoulders any longer. But it took me 15 years to say it. My walk with Christ and my transformation with God has impacted my family in a great way. I say that because not only do I get to walk with my sister, but I also, my dad actually joined the walk as well. I thank God for them. I thank God for the fact that, we have a support system within ministry itself. Now my sister, she called me at the beginning of the year asking me, when are we going to start fasting? When are we going to start praying? What are you studying? So I'm able to do those things with her. So not only am I not walking alone, but she's not walking alone either. Actually, within Impact Ministries that I go to right now, I actually wasn't expecting to see my dad there. He went to New Life World Ministries with me, but he ended up showing up at Impact Ministries as well. I think it's important as a father for him to not only cheer on his daughters, but also be there in the pews with us as well. My nieces go, my daughter prays, out loud prays like she's 30 years old prays. And she, I'm also starting to see God work in and through her as well. Not only through prayer, but just in encouragement and love and care. So I thank God for his unconditional love, and being able to, allow me to be an example like his son was an example. In the next few years, I see myself teaching ministry, just being able to open up the Bible and minister through and through. I actually want to be in full-time ministry, but God has also, given me a calling within the criminal justice system. There's going to be things that ministry is going to be able to tie into concerning criminal justice, whether it be corrections, whether it be law enforcement. We need a change within our criminal justice system, and the only change that I see is through Jesus Christ. So if there's a way that we can incorporate ministry with the criminal justice system, it's time for me to break open these doors and do so. New Life World Ministries has been very impactful in my life. I was able to serve with my whole heart. I was able to be loved when I needed to be loved. But Pastor Jamal also pushed me within ministry. He put me on stage. That's something that I would never have thought that or a place that I would have been, was on stage teaching the word. I've always been very, very quiet. I've always been very shy. I've always been playing the background, but he put me on the forefront and said, go. And I've been going ever since, and I thank him for that. Pastor Teresa has also been a mother figure to me, which is something that I've always missed. I needed a mom, and she opened up her heart when others may not have gotten that. So I thank God for the both of them being my spiritual parents. I thank God for New Life World Ministries, because now the seeds that were planted then, I've been able to, or others have been able to see the fruit of it within ministry. As I continue to go on throughout ministry, I will always give them the credit that they deserve. It's very important that just because, the ground was okay, the seed still had to be planted. So once again, I thank God for them.